Greetings and welcome back to SmartWatch Tics. We got a fun unboxing today and a really nice presentation package. Check this out. All you got to do is pull and open. And here's the band. And it's in its own little rubberized space. Here's a box. And inside the box, when we open it up, we have a manual and a charger. What are we talking about? Let's get that over and then we'll look at all the rest of this stuff. From Toledo, we've got the T2 Plus, an upgrade to the T2. It's a color screen now, waterproof blood pressure smart band. We just took a look at a continuous heart rate band, and this takes in a different direction, focusing more on blood pressure. Here's the specs and information that goes along with it. It's got a 7-day standby time, got it in black and red and blue, and all of these different features go along with it. Dynamic heart rate, which is similar to continuous, but not exactly. It will give you a heart rate reading every 5 minutes, transmitted to the app when you sync them up again, which is exactly what the previous B2 band did, but it also gave you real-time continuous heart rate, but no blood pressure. So you're starting to see you get what you like depending on what band you're interested in and what your features you're looking for. This particular band will be available from different sources, and one of them is Banggood. Check the show notes down below. As soon as we can get a buying link, which is to this page, and a discount coupon for you, we'll post that as well for the T2 Plus. So this is the charging Cradle dock. I don't know, clothespin? We've seen this on a few different bands. When we open it up, the charging port's there. That's the heart rate monitor diode and blood pressure as well. We have to get it in the right direction. Squeeze it open so that those pins, you see them, line up right exactly on it. It clamps down on the front, and you plug it in your USB. A little bit awkward. I much prefer personally the ones you can just pull off the end and plug it in a charger. You can take it anywhere. It's already on. I've been using it. I just repackaged it so you could get a look at what the unboxing is like. We can take off the cover, which is telling you to charge it before using. Always a good idea. And we'll take a look at the manual, which is Chinese and English. So instructions for the T2 Plus. It really has only one button to it that you can touch or hold to navigate your way through. The QR code for downloading the app is here. It's called Wear Health, and it's interesting. We'll be taking a look at that here in a moment. And some of the features of the different pages that you go through, some FAQs, and what's included with some parameters. Okay. All right. It is already charged up, so I don't need to do that. And it's already on, so don't need to do that. All I need to do is touch that bottom button to show you we have a time display. If I press and hold it when it's on, it will switch to a colored background. Kind of looks like a thumbprint on the screen in blue. Those are the two watch faces that you have. I prefer personally to run it without the background on. So I'm going to touch it again to switch it off. Heart rate will appear here if you have it on and it's sensing. It'll give you your heart rate reading, which will do that in a minute. Battery power and Bluetooth connection. Then you have your step page along with your distance and calories burned, your heart rate, which immediately turns it on to calculate your beats per minute, your blood pressure, live reading from the PPG. Does not have electrodes on this one, so it's deriving that from the optical sensor, and a running mode. When you press and hold that, you go into a special running mode that's ready to go. It's already counting the seconds down below. and it will monitor your steps and your heart rate during that run. And it times out very quickly on this one. Press and hold, and we can leave that mode. That event will be recorded to the watch and transferred to the app later. Okay, there, the running. Then you have your messages that actually do come through. You press and hold to get your messages. And find your watch or phone, and then the on-off button. And so those are all the things that you can cycle through. Let's try that. And right now, the phone is ringing, which is a perfect segue to come in here and open the app. The app is called Wear Health, and when we open it, you get into a main page after you log in. You got to go through a process of setting up an account. This is your introductory page. You have a sport page here. This will actually take you to a map of your exact location with a start button down at the bottom. And if you hit the start button, it will begin. 3, 2, 1, go. And it'll actually start, oh, there you go, doing a run for you, and shows you your kilometers, your duration, and your speed. And all this is happening in the phone. So we're not even really working with the band. It's one of those features, as long as you have your phone with you, you can do that run and accumulate the data right here in the app. And you can switch back to your map and show the map. You can pause it, and you can get out of it, I guess. Oh, you see the red thing going around it? You have to press and hold it long enough for it to stop so you don't accidentally trigger it. And then you can hit stop. So that's this mode, the sport mode. When you come over to care is where you could put friends in here. If you have friends that are also on the network, you can tie together and share data back and forth. And then finally mine, which is where you can tether it. And it says it's already tethered, which is good. Your overall user settings, you can set your name and information, left or right hand. Calibration is interesting. You can do a manual calibration if you know what your typical heart blood pressure is, and it will kind of work off of that in order to get hopefully better accuracy in its blood pressure reading. And there's a whole calibration process you can go through with the band. You can choose Google or that one for your map, and you can, of course, log out from the whole thing. So that's how you set that up. You can set your target, your sleep time target, device management. Here's where we have all of this stuff. The continuous heart rate, which means you get a reading every 5 minutes. These we'll play with. You can have your reminders on for all these things, more reminders from your apps, alarm clock settings. You can do the 12 or 24-hour metric or imperial. A lot of flexibility with the setup on this of how it's going to display. And of course, if you turn it, nothing happens. But if I do this lift wrist bright screen, it should turn it on. But it just turns it on. If you do the turn wrist brighten screen, I'm pretty sure what happens here is you turn it, and if you do it again, it switches to the next screen. That's the difference between these two. So you can toggle between each of the screens just by twisting your arm if you have the turn wrist brighten screen thing on. And again, there's the sound. Really nice and loud in your phone if you have your volume up. So I'm going to leave that one off, but leave that one on and bring us back to our data. So let's take a good look at this page because all the essence is in here. The first thing in the top is this big button that says measurement. We're going to touch it, and it's taking us to a page where it's showing heart rate, blood pressure, and a countdown with start measuring. Now, the band is on. I'm going to say start measuring. It comes into a display on the band itself and a pulsing display here with a countdown now showing in 30 seconds. that it's given itself to acquire. Now, after 14 seconds, we got the first blood pressure and heart rate reading, and now it's refining that measurement. And when it hits 0, it's going to lock in at its final value, which is right now. It wants you to confirm heart rate of 69 and 121/78. When I confirm that, the reading is completed. I come back over here, and if I touch down below, I get the list of the actual measurements I've taken this way, and only this way, by hitting that big green button. Here's the one we just took. Here's one I took earlier today. Here are yesterday's values. And you basically get a reading. It takes you in and shows you the reading in large digits and gives you some charts that shows you typically what those ranges are. Those charts don't change. It's just a different way of displaying the data. Okay? And that comes from the global measurement that also gave me, it looks like, a health index in the good zone. I have optimal way up here down to general, which is not that good. Okay, now, sport, sleep, and heart rate are across the bottom. That all related to blood pressure. Here are our steps for the day and how much of my goal I've completed and when those steps were accomplished on a 24-hour basis in the day, or on the particular day of the week, or the particular day of the month, with an overall average over each of those. And it's the same thing for your sleep situation. Here's last night's sleep. It's the only record I've got. Got a nice overall display showing you colors, where the darker the color, the deeper the sleep, I presume. It shows you down at the bottom. We have those statistics, and I was up for 4 times. Now, on this particular app, that's the consolidated data you get. If you remember on the B2 that we just reviewed, you also had a directory down below that showed you practically minute by minute where your sleep situation was. We can slide through here and get the same kind of data in a zone. You see the bracket of 2:10 a.m. to 2:37 was deep sleep, followed by light sleep. So, different way of presenting the overall data, either in text or in a sliding graph. But the total goal of 8 hours was met. Then you can get your weekly average, and it's showing that, or again your monthly average, all on the chart. Sport, sleep, and then heart rate. Here's the heart rate. Now, interesting presentation here. This is a graph from midnight to midnight of today, and these are my live readings. Unfortunately, you can't expand this anyway, but you can slide along here and see the time. You see that there? The time and the reading. So if you had a certain time that you're exercising and you see some peaking right there, you could come up and find out exactly what time that was in 5-minute increments. So it's not continuous, but it's dynamic heart rate. That's today. Here's yesterday when I first started working with this band. Did sleep with it, so it goes right up to midnight and picks up from midnight on. A nice low heart rate down in the 50s while I was asleep. And of course, the sleep pattern can show you the direct time and information on that. These are the zones that you would be in. All of mine seem to be happening in the warm-up zone. I think it changes color as it gets up into the higher zones, based on those zones being based on your age and height and weight and gender and all of those statistics. So that's this. You can change the dates with the calendar if you wanted to, or you can slide through the dates right there. And that is that category. Okay, that covers everything in the app for the general overview. The sports function, if you want to do something with just the phone. Here's where you can hit plus. This is where you can shake to take a snapshot. And yes, I want to have access to my photos. So you have a kind of a camera here, and I'm going to be moving it slightly as I take the band and shake it. And there it goes. Oh, good. It's giving a countdown with sound, and then it takes a picture. I guess I shook it twice, and there we go. Now I shook it once again. So you can set it up for selfies. You could even have it pointing toward you so you can't see the screen and just listen for the sound when you shake the arm when you're in this photo mode. And right now it's showing the band is in the heart rate mode. It's interesting. And back out of there. And then the other thing was to find the bracelet, which is now vibrating but not making any noise, just vibration. But you do have a display on it, so if it's a dark room you might be able to see it. Okay. And that is everything there is to know about the app, everything there is to know about the band, and everything you need to know is a T2 Plus from Toledatech. And check the show notes down below to find a buying link for this particular product. I know we're going to have it available from Banggood. We've got it already showing up in their computer, but it isn't on the market yet. Yet being when I'm filming this, which is right around Valentine's 2018. So check back, look in the show notes, and we will continue to update it as new vendors come on board, offering the T2 Plus at really good prices for you. You've been watching SmartWatch Ticks. Really appreciate your subscription. And hey, we just hit 10 million views. I never thought that was possible. Of course, I never thought I'd be doing this either. Well, we're both here. All right, we'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.